us come up with plans. Let us ask the church that we can come in and bring. Matter of fact, you can help us out purchase one of these maps. Take it to the church. That's right. And then challenge, there's another map over here in the back that shows African leadership. It shows all of the people who rule the African countries. And if you look at the children, even us as adults, if I say, name me 10 African leaders, most of them be hard pressed. Things change, leadership change. And so you have to stay connected. And then there can become business, cultural exchange, and everything else you want to do. Thank you. May Allah bless you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Please give our wonderful minister some more love. Thank you so much. Family, you have been great. Please remain seated. We're going to hear from Baba Joe Beasley right now. Baba Joe, just anything you want to say briefly? Thank you, Brother Joe Beasley.
Thanks for getting me to come over to hear Mr. Osborne, this young man here. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you. Excellent. Give Brother. He's such a wonderful. He knows that you have been so patient. And now, Baba Mukasa. Thank you, Baba Mukasa. Give Baba Mukasa some love.
How y'all happy doing? Africa is on fire. And the colonialists, imperialists are out to keep Africa. And even in South Africa, those Boers are not about to give up Africa without a fight. And that we gotta stop compromising with these imperialists. We need to begin to attack. We need to organize. But back in the 60s, when we went up against the war in Vietnam, we went down to the draft board and attacked the draft board. And in 1966, when we began to organize for South Africa, Robert Sobukwe and all the people that was being butchered and murdered in South Africa, we went to the United Nations and kicked the door down and whooped down Bowser's ass and his staff. We went to jail, but that's good. So I'm saying that we are under attack in every country in Africa. And everything this young man said about the Congo, it's about all of Africa. We ain't talking about no Congo, we talking about Africa. We ain't talking about no Ghana, we talking about Africa. Africa cannot find itself a personality, a strength, unless it's a United States of Africa. You understand? And Africa's economics belong to us. And the only way we're going to get it back, excuse me, last night my wife caught a cold. I told her to stay away from me, and I didn't want to get near. And she put one of them old looks on me back, she did 40 years ago, so I slept close to her. I got a cold. And then she felt good because I slept next to her. She told me to go downstairs and pick the washing machine up and put it in another place. I picked it up, and then I heard my back click. So, no problem.
No
Our
problem.
women can make us do anything.
No problem.
Anything. I'm glad I come from you. But I'm saying this to say that the funeral of Nelson Mandela last night, I watched the whole funeral. They said they didn't let the people talk. When they talked, they let CNN give and show the man talking, but they wouldn't let us hear what they were saying. CNN was talking. And then they had a little faggot, what's that little boy name? On CNN. We African believe in 3-4 wives, not all that other mess. But they're making it, they're doing this on purpose, putting the weakest Africans in front of us to explain Africa. And I'm saying that these neo-colonialists, these what Marcus Garvey called black white men or white women, they're dangerous. They're our enemy. And we all need to join an organization. Those of us in this room right now, we need to form one organization, and each one of us have assignments to carry out. We gotta stop being individualistic. That's right. We gotta stop thinking I'm the leader. We want some organizers. Right. Back in the 60s, when we went out and took people out, we dropped them in Birmingham and said, now organize. We dropped them in Albany and said, organize. Somewhere in Mississippi, give them a quarter and say, go organize. You had to go organize somewhere to eat. You had to go organize somewhere to sleep, and you had to organize a fighting force. And this is what we need to do. All y'all got to be involved. And each one of you, we hear little brother talking about Congo and teaching about the Congo or teaching about Haiti. We need to make it and have classes where each one of you can go and do a better job than what Beasley do on Haiti or what my man do on the Congo. Your babies, your children should be telling the truth of what's happening in Africa. I'm saying I don't trust this government. I think all of them and everybody's got association with this government are criminals. And when the enemy tell them, hello little Zimbabwe girl, but when the enemy tell these governments and this country to come in our community and kill us, put our children in jail for a reaper seed, fill the jails up with our children, these Uncle Toms are doing it. That's why we need an organization, and we need to look forward to forming an army. Back in the day, back in the 70s, I had told Sekou Touré, Kwame told Sekou Touré how much respect I had for Lumumba, and he sent me to the Congo to hang out with Lumumba's men. And I had a great time in the Congo, and then I went to Uganda, hung out with Idi Amin, gave him citizenship, and Idi Amin was a fine gentleman, like my brother said. But if your enemy love you, you're in bad shape. You can't trust them. But if they hate you, I mean hate you, like they do Gaddafi, like they did Idi Amin, like they did Sekou Touré, Nkrumah, Garvey, and all the rest of it, Nzinga, and all the rest of them, they're good people. That's right. But when your enemy love you, that's a bomb. So I'm saying that Robert Mugabe in Zimbabwe, at the same time they're down there at his funeral, they got an embargo on the country and they're trying to kill Mugabe. United States. This is a criminal government, and the only way we can make it is organized with all our African governments, all our African, not governments, because most of them punks. But the freedom fighters in these different countries, like them little boys getting on them boats, going out, hijacking them boats in Somalia. I'm thinking about taking my son out of medical school and send him up there to get on one of them boats. You know, make them crackers pay for what they stole. And we need to get organized, and we need to prepare to fight. We need to have schools. We need to have work groups where we study in Africa, research in Africa, where we can create thousands of teachers. Thousands of revolutionary teachers. And this is what we have to do. So I'm not going to talk very long. I want to say that Fidel Castro has shown us the way. Hugo Chavez, Mao Zedong, and Gaddafi, and it's been many, many other brothers, and all of them die fighting. And it's an honor to die fighting for your liberation and dying for the principles of your people. So again, I've by myself, we've been on the FBI's most dangerous list for at least 50 years. I know. And we went with Idi Amin, helped kick them white folks out of there. We went with Gaddafi, come on Gaddafi, Saddam Hussein. We was his guests hanging out with Saddam in Iraq, and in Vietnam, everybody that stand up against the United States, we run and hug them and say, give me a gun too. And I'm honored that I fought and helped the good brothers in Zimbabwe, Angola, Mozambique, Guinea-Bissau, Nicaragua, El Salvador, Guatemala, and I'm honored that I helped burn down Detroit and all these cities in this country, and they're going to have to burn some more. This country is dangerous, and you're talking about political prisoners. We need to get guns and bombs and go to them prisons and get our brothers and sisters. They ain't going to turn them loose at will. You got to take them. Am I right? Are y'all ready to fight? Yeah. Are you ready to fight? Are you really seriously ready to fight? Are you ready to stand with Mugabe in Zimbabwe? Are you ready to stand with the Eritrean government? Are you ready to condemn the Democrats, Republicans, and America right now? Damn them all. Long live Zimbabwe, long live Africa. Long live Africa. Africa must unite. But one other thing, I want everybody to hold your fists up. Say black power. Black power. Black power. Black power. Africa must unite. Africa must unite. Africa must unite. Africa must be free. Africa must be free. Thank you, Africans.
Come on. Baba Mukasa, black power. Black power, that's right. quickly, sister from Zimbabwe, this great African sister from Zimbabwe. And by the way, please make sure before you leave, buy something from the great Minister Akbar Mohammed. Make sure you get the literature from Brother Carney regarding the Friends of the Congo. Please make sure. Sister, come on. From Zimbabwe, Dr. Chitunya.
Good evening. I'm not going to take much of your time. First of all, I wasn't here, but can we just give a moment of silence for the loss of former President Mandela, if we can give a moment of silence. Thank you. As you all know, we lost a very great man in our region, SADC. And I want you all to pray that the region will remain the same so that we can move things forward. So that I think most of you heard the complaints of people on TV that life never changed in South Africa. And this is true. We have been telling people over and over again that nothing changed when it comes to black people. Black people still don't have jobs similar to the white people. So we want to pray so hard right now so that there won't be no conflict in South Africa. Once South Africa has a conflict, that means the whole region will be having a conflict. So we need to focus on that, and even though they say, even though they talk about racism still exists. I think you all saw that on TV. You saw people who stay under not fair conditions in South Africa, just next door to the millionaires. So we want all those things to change. Now that Mandela is gone, we don't know what's going to happen. It's a time bomb. It's really a time bomb. So we need to pray for each other. As far as Zimbabwe is still on sanctions. I think Baba Mukase has already talked about it. But in Zimbabwe, things are just fine right now. We are doing for ourselves, like what Nkuruma said. Do for yourselves. Don't look at the West. Zimbabweans are still surviving. Being a third world country, which country can survive for 15 years with sanctions? Even Iraq, which has got oil, didn't even stay for 6 months. But why Zimbabwe survived? It's because of the region and the AU. They helped, and they are still helping. And Zimbabweans are surviving. And the West is now confused. How come this little country has all these things? Because there are minerals, there is diamond. And now they ceased selling the diamonds to the West. So they don't know whether they're gonna lift up the sanctions just to have their own needs, whereby, they need this tobacco. We were the third country in producing tobacco. That's our country. So let's go and invest in Africa. Whether you want to invest in North Africa, South Africa, East or West, as long as you invest at home, we will be so glad. Thank you very much. I don't want to take much of your time.
Dr. Chitunya. Again, we have Professor Griff. Where is Professor Griff? He's right there. There he is. That's right. Love you, brother. Love you. WACPtv, Internet TV Atlanta, WRG Radio Atlanta, Talkback Live Radio Internet St. Louis, DCTV Sister Josh, Washington, D.C. We are covered also by HASSAN Communication, Adima, of course that's Adima, at Comcast.net, Black Media's Simulcast. That's what we are covering us right now.